Virginia is one of the best states for roller coasters. There are currently 25 roller coasters in Virginia, soon to be 28, and most of them are at two parks, Kings Dominion and Busch Gardens Williamsburg. We've had the pleasure of riding all the ones currently operating at each of these parks, as well as some of each park's well-known defunct ones. And Virginia has a great variety of family and thrill coasters, with two more on the way, Kings Dominion's Raptera and Busch Gardens Williamsburg's The Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge. Ahead of the 2025 season, we wanted to rank the best roller coasters in Virginia. Of the currently operating roller coasters, which one is the best? Find out in this coaster ranking. Kicking off this list is Racer 75, the American coaster enthusiast landmark and one of the first coasters we ever rode. This classic racing wooden roller coaster has incredible views of the park, has some good airtime hills, and a decent turnaround. Depending on which row you sit in, you will experience some good floater airtime, especially when coming off the turnaround while sitting in the back row. Racer 75 has its moments, which makes it one of the better coasters at Kings Dominion, but it only kicks off this list. The number 14 spot is Busch Gardens Williamsburg's new for 2023 roller coaster, Dark Coaster. And this coaster is a lot of fun. It has tire drive launches and delivers a snappy ride experience. Those bank turns in the dark can catch you off guard, especially if you know nothing about the layout. And the special effects, including those lightning strikes and the finale past King Ludwig's ghost, enhance the experience, though we wish there were more of them. Some of the effects have a delay, so you should definitely sit in the back row to get the most out of the ride experience. The fact that the park somehow fit an Intamin straddle launch coaster in the old Curse of Dark Castle building is quite impressive. So kudos to Busch Gardens Williamsburg for that amazing addition. That said, it is not the best family thrill coaster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. That honor goes to Invader at the number 13 spot. We got to ride Invader its opening year, and as our first quality GCI, it did not disappoint. Its twister layout made wondering where the coaster was going quite hard, especially while sitting towards the back of the train. The first drop through a tunnel is a nice touch, and the airtime is quite good. And unlike some of the other coasters at the park, Invader opts for quick, weak ejector pops instead of floater airtime. And for a ride primarily geared towards families, Invader really packs a punch, and a nighttime ride is incredible. The coaster just hauls through that layout, and the fact that there are hardly any lights back there only enhances your sense of speed. And Invader is a great cold weather ride. It is just so good when it is open during Busch Gardens Williamsburg's Christmastown seasonal event. Invader is definitely a top-notch family coaster in Virginia, but it is the OG Virginia Aero Looper Loch Ness Monster that takes the number 12 spot on this list. Aside from the iconic interlocking vertical loops over the Rhine River, Loch Ness Monster is a generally smooth and enjoyable ride, and it is forceful. While its layout is not overly impressive, the first drop gives some good floater airtime for those sitting towards the back of the train, and that helix through the tunnel is an incredible element. And the helix got even cooler after the park refurbished the coaster for the 2024 season. Let's not forget those interlocking vertical loops, which are also quite forceful. Loch Ness Monster is re-rideable, and the elements on it are still good for what they are. The legend definitely lives on, and we can definitely see why the park chose to keep this coaster instead of scrapping it. But the additional theming and Premier Rides refurb were not enough to overtake the coaster coming in at the number 11 spot, which is Toonbilly, Kings Dominion's new for 2022 roller coaster. While it is hard to see an S&S 4D free spin make any top coaster list, Toonbilly is one of the most fun and well-themed free spins out there. As the current anchor of the Jungle X section of Kings Dominion, Toonbilly is a great addition for the park. That does not even account for the ride experience. This ride experience is actually really good and starts off with a bang if you crest that lift hill facing backwards on the left side. You may actually backflip into the coaster's layout, which is a pleasant surprise. That backflip catches you off guard since you are facing away from the rest of the layout. And as one of the shorter S&S 4D free spins, Toonbilly delivers just the right amount of flip. And Toonbilly is also quite re-rideable. If you choose the loading station on the far side of the coaster, you may get an even crazier ride experience than the one you may get on the side closest to the midway. This coaster is definitely an underrated addition to Kings Dominion's lineup, and is one of the better coasters in Virginia. That said, it is not as good as the coaster coming in at number 10, Flight of Fear at Kings Dominion. This Premier Rides manufactured launch coaster takes the feeling of uncertainty to 10. Before you even get into the ride layout, you are unknowingly launched from the station into an unexpected cobra roll, which delivers some good positive G-forces. From there on, you are whipped from side to side and through a couple of corkscrews as you navigate a completely enclosed spaghetti bowl. While the mid-course brake run at the top of the layout saps a lot of the train's momentum, it is not too long before you pick back up that speed and fly through the rest of the layout. If you sit towards the front of the train, you might get a weak pop of airtime as you climb into the final brake run. This track layout looks and feels cool in broad daylight, but the fact that it is in complete darkness elevates the ride experience to another level, something that the number 9 coaster does quite well. And that coaster is Bolton at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Bolton is one of those fun rides that never fails to impress. That launch into the show building is quite punchy, and the first drop while in the back row is amazing. You get so much floater airtime before slamming into a bank turn up into a mid-course brake run. And Bolton's mid-course brake run is one of the best moments on any roller coaster in Virginia. The drop track. The following launch out of the show building up into the Rhine River drop is a great sequence. While it is not the smoothest ride experience, Bolton does the original Big Bad Wolf proud. It is such a fun ride and definitely one of Virginia's best roller coasters. From one of the best enclosed roller coasters in Virginia to one of the best night rides ever, the number 8 spot goes to Grizzly at Kings Dominion. If we had done this list before the 2023 season, Grizzly would have been at the bottom, if not on the list at all. But the Gravity Group's 2023 retracking restored Kings Dominion's most unique wooden roller coaster. In addition to keeping the best moment on the ride, that ejector hill in the tunnel, the Gravity Group reprofiled the first drop, which now gives a good amount of floater airtime for those in the very back row. The Gravity Group did a great job with this project. While Grizzly still has its rougher moments, it is a wooden roller coaster after all, it is easily one of the best roller coasters at Kings Dominion. And Kings Dominion's additional retracking ahead of the 2024 season made Grizzly the best wooden roller coaster in Virginia and a top 10 overall ride, especially if you consider a ride in the back car. Coming in at the number 7 spot is Apollo's Chariot, and it very much deserves this credit. It was the first Bollinger and Mabillard hypercoaster ever, and somehow is still incredibly smooth. And while it does not have the same powerful helices and turnarounds like other Bollinger and Mabillard hypers like Nitro at Six Flags Great Adventure or Candemonium at Hershey Park, Apollo's Chariot still pulls some strong positive G-forces on his helix on a hot summer day. It also gives good floater airtime, has a great layout, and it gives a spectacular night ride. It is one of the most beloved roller coasters at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and it is not hard to see why. Apollo's Chariot is an amazing coaster, though it just lacks the same pizzazz that the 6 coasters ahead of it have. Beginning with Dominator at Kings Dominion at number 6, which just misses the top 5. Virginia has many Bollinger and Mabillard coasters, and this floorless coaster is one of the best. It combines size with uniqueness as it has moments of hang time, brief floater airtime, and low to the ground speed turns. Dominator gives some great thrills and is a great Bollinger and Mabillard floorless coaster. Its vertical loop, turnaround over the station, and the Cobra Roll are 3 incredible elements. And it pulls some good positive G-forces, especially on warmer days and during the summer months. While the interlocking corkscrews may be a little rougher than when we first rode it, Dominator remains a relatively smooth and fan favorite ride. As of right now, it is one of Kings Dominion's top 3 roller coasters and easily one of the best coasters in Virginia. That said, it does not have the same power as Alpinist at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, which kicks off the top 5. As currently the only invert in Virginia, Alpinist is a lot to handle in the best way possible. That spiraling first drop feels like you are falling forever, and the first 4 inversions pack in all the positive G-forces. Alpinist has one of the strongest first halves on any roller coaster, with the first half of the Cobra Roll as its standout moment. On a hot summer day, you get absolutely whipped downwards while sitting on the right side of the back row. But where Alpinist comes up short is its mid-course brake run, which can definitely sap a lot of the momentum when the brakes actually hit. Those brakes definitely take away from an otherwise amazing top-tier invert. Nonetheless, it capitalizes on the land it sits on. It offers some of the best sightlines in the park, especially since it is located right in the middle of the park. It also has some great interactions with the nearby Le Scout log flume in the New France section. Lastly, the theming is amazing with that Swiss chalet station and the skis on the back of the train cars. Simply put, Alpinist is awesome. Now, from one Bolger and Mabby Yard to another, we have Griffin at Busch Gardens Williamsburg coming in at number 4. And this dive coaster is just a good fun. The first drop is one of the best. You plunge 200 feet at 90 degrees before swooping up into an Immelman. And the pull-ups into the Immelman loops are quite forceful. There are even some really good airtime moments before the splashdown and right before the final brake run. An outside seat back row ride is awesome, as you get some good floater airtime going down the first drop. And while the smaller, less steep drop does not deliver the same sensations as the first drop, Griffin gives some great hang time on that second Immelman before flying over the speed hill before the splashdown. And that splashdown is such a cool visual, especially with those towering splashes. It is technically a one-trick pony, though it is still a great ride with some amazing moments. Definitely one of the best coasters at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. And now we have reached our top 3 coasters in Virginia, and after considerable thought, we have Pantheon at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Pantheon is an Intamin multi-launch coaster with a 0G stall, a vertical spike, and some good transitions. And this coaster is awesome. Despite its lack of theming, Pantheon has a great layout and a great color scheme. It is easily the best coaster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg and one of our favorite coasters from Intamin. How could you not go crazy for that reverse launch over that speed hill while in the front rows? But Pantheon is not as good as Twisted Timbers at Kings Dominion. It is an RMC retrack of the old Hurler roller coaster and the first RMC we ever rode. And this ride delivers on every level. It has the transitions, the airtime, and even the inversions. It is the only coaster in Virginia with a cutback and an outer bank turn, and it gives one of the best paced rides at Kings Dominion and in Virginia. For most people, this ride may be their number 1 coaster based solely on re-rideability and sheer presentation alone. However, it takes a backseat to the number 1 roller coaster in Virginia, Pantherian, formerly Intimidator 305. Intense. That is the word that best describes Pantherian. This ride packs a pretty heavy punch from the fast-moving cable lift hill, which is slower than years past, to the rapid-fire switchbacks. Pantherian's first drop and first turn leave you wondering what the heck happened. And while the airtime hills are not what you will get on Twisted Timbers, they try to throw you out of your seat. And Pantherian has some powerful ejector airtime, especially in the back cars. The first massive camelback airtime hill and speed hill before the first S-turn give some of the most forceful negative G-forces on any roller coaster in the world. This Intamin Kiga coaster combines speed and power with whip and force to produce one of the best rides in the world. From an enthusiast standpoint, Pantherian is definitely the best roller coaster in Virginia. While this list ranks the 15 best operating coasters in Virginia, we would be hard-pressed to omit one of the most thrilling roller coasters we have ever been on, Volcano the Blast Coaster. Volcano was an excellent ride with a great launch and a unique layout, and it anchored one of the best top 3 coaster lineups in the world at one point. So it was sad when Kings Dominion removed it. It would have easily made this list without a doubt. It thrilled the general public and enthusiasts alike, making it one of the best rides to ever grace an amusement park. So hopefully, Kings Dominion, Bolger, and Mabby Yard launched wing coaster Rapterra does the Volcano plot of land justice when it opens in early 2025. There you have it, the best roller coasters in Virginia. Kings Dominion and Busch Gardens Williamsburg are 2 great parks with great coaster lineups, making Virginia one of the better places for roller coasters. Did your favorite coaster make the list? Do you think a coaster should have been higher or lower? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video or are new to the channel, please consider liking and subscribing for more coaster content like this. For more in-depth reviews, check out our coaster reviews playlist, which has our reviews for most of these coasters, including everything in the top 7. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more coaster rankings and amusement park content coming soon to Coaster Adventures, and we hope to see you in the next one.